When you're ready, Professor.
Yeah, I'm ready. Okay. I'm going to go over section 10.2 before answering any homework questions from chapter 8. Okay. In 10.2, we're going to look at the scatter plot and linear regression. This is an example on the upper right-hand corner of the screen. You are looking at the example of a scatter plot. Okay. So what is a scatter plot? It's a graph of a bunch of ordered pairs where the independent variable is X and the dependent variable is the Y. For instance, in this example, the X represent median age of marriage for women, and the Y represent the median age of marriage for men. Okay, so in the picture, X represent median age of marriage for women, then Y represent median age of marriage for men. Okay, how do we create scatter plot with our calculator? First of all, you're going to have a set of ordered pairs. You're going to enter the X values in list 1 and Y values in list 2. First, I'm going to explain it, then I'm going to bring my calculator and we're going to go over example. We have to make sure the window that we have are appropriate. What does that mean? We have to select, when we want to graph anything with our calculator, we have to have an appropriate window for graphing. So we need X minimum, we need X maximum, we need Y minimum and Y maximum. To have our X minimum, we're going to go slightly before less than the minimum X value that we see in our...
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, let me get rid of this window. Okay, so we have to make sure we have a correct window to see our graph. One way is you have to define your X minimum, then X maximum, Y minimum, and Y maximum. For X minimum, you go a little bit below the smallest X value that you see. For for X maximum, you go a little bit above the largest X that you see in your set of ordered pair. The same thing with the Y. But the easiest way is you click on Zoom Stat, okay? You just go to Zoom window and click on Zoom Stat. I will show you, as I said, during the when I'm explaining an example. Okay, then you're going to press second stat plot, and you're going to choose plot number 1. And the other plots are going to be off. Then you're going to move the cursor to on position, and you're going to press enter and for plot number 1. Then there are several graph types on the graphing option, and you're going to pick the first graph, which is the stat plot. And we have to make sure that our X list is in list 1 and Y list is in list 2. Okay, then we're going to press graph, then you see your scatter plot. Okay, let's look at this example. Draw a scatter plot for the following data. Okay, so I have given you a table. On the top row, you have the X values, and the bottom rows, you have Y values. So basically, 43 and 128 is first ordered pair. The second ordered pair is 48 and 120 and so forth. Okay, so how do we draw scatter plot? So let me bring Shauna.
Yes, Professor, I'm here.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop sharing this window. Can you keep track of the X and Y values?
Okay, I need to write them down, but let me take it down really quick. Somebody was asking for you to please show it on the calculator, so let me do that.
Yeah, I will do it on the calculator in a minute.
I need to write them down. So
yeah, sure.
X. Meanwhile, if you have any other questions, you can feel free to unmute yourselves. 43, 48, 56.
61, 67, 70.
61, 67, 70, and
the Y's are 128, 120, 135, 143,
143,
141,
141, and 152.
152.
Got it.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing
Got
and
it.
bring my calculator.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to go to a stat. No, sorry, not a stat. We're going to go to, okay.
Yeah, stat edit, right?
Yes, stat. We're going to go to edit, then edit again. I'm going to enter my X value under list 1. Can you give me
43,
43,
48,
48,
56,
56,
61,
61,
67,
67,
70.
70. Then I'm going to click the right arrow key and enter the corresponding Y values.
128, 120, 135, 143, 141, and 152.
Okay. So I enter all the X values in list 1, all the Y values in list 2. Okay, then I'm going to quit from this window, second quit from this window. Then I'm going to go to, do you see on the top row, you see Y equal the gray buttons, Y equal window, zoom, trace, and graph. Above the first one, Y equal, you see scatter plot, correct? And since is in blue, I'm just going to say second Y equal gives me a scatter plot, okay? And I'm going to pick plot, scatter plot number 1. 1 is highlighted. I'm going to press enter, okay? Right now, plot 1 is off. And the on is blinking. If I press enter, I turned on a plot 1, okay? If you have any question, you can unmute yourself and speak. Now I'm going to go to type, and the first item next to the type is the scatter plot. So you see that the scatter plot is blinking. I put all the X value on the list 1. That's good. Then I go press the down arrow key. All the Y values are in list 2. Good. Then the next line, it says mark. There are 4 different marks, and I always pick the first mark, the box. Pick the box because it's easier to be shown. You can see it much better than the other marks. Then you can pick a color if you have an option of color. If you don't have an option of color, just pass it. So I'm choosing green. Then I'm going to quit from this window because I'm done with all the information from this window. I'm going to quit second mode, quits. Then I'm going to go and click on the top row, choose window. Okay. Actually, no, I'm not going to choose window. I'm going to choose zoom on the top row. Gray buttons, I'm going to choose zoom and pick option number 9, zoom stat. Okay. Then I'm going to press enter. And here is your scatter plot.
Professor, can you back up to your stat plot screen? Somebody has said that after mark, it doesn't do anything. It shouldn't do anything. You have to set your window and graph it after that.
Okay, yeah. Let me go to a scatter plot. The second Y equal takes me to a scatter plot window. I picked number 1. Number 1 is on. So I pick type, the first one, X list, list 1, Y list, list 2, mark. I pick the box. If you don't have color after you pick the box, then you just quit that window, okay? Now, since I had color, I had to go down and choose a color. If I didn't have option color, I would stop at the mark, okay? I can stop at the mark right now and quit that window. Second mode quits.
So
then
quit
it takes me to,
quit the screen.
yeah,
And
I
then
quit
you're going to
the
choose
stat
your
plot.
graph after that.
Then, no, after you quit, it takes you to the home screen, which is blank. That's fine. Don't worry. Then click the zoom key. Zoom key. Then there are two options, either window or zoom key. Zoom key is much easier. Then you go and pick zoom stat. Okay. That's your scatter plot. I will look at another example again. Okay. Any question? Should I repeat the process again?
I don't see any others. The person who asked is saying she understands. So
Okay, good. I'm going to stop sharing and go back to my PowerPoint. Okay. And now, if you look at your PowerPoint, I have all the steps that I show you on the calculator. I went to, I click the stat key, then I pick edit. I enter my X value list 1, Y value list 2. Then we went to a stat plot. I show you where it was. I pick plot number 1. Then under plot number 1, I turned it on. I pick first type of the graph, scatter plot, then list 1, list 2, mark is box. You see that in this window, you don't see the option of the color, okay? Previously, the calculator that I had didn't give me option for the color. So after mark, I just said quit. Second mode quits, then it takes you to the home screen. Then now here, instead of pressing the zoom key and choosing zoom stat, I clicked the window key, and I went a little bit below the smallest X value. The smallest X value that I had is 43. So for X minimum, I chose 30. You could have chose 40, okay? X maximum, I pick 80 because the largest X value that I saw here was 70. So I pick 80. So I don't recommend this because it's sometimes very difficult. So instead of choosing window, go to zoom and pick zoom stat. Then here is your scatter plot. So I can, after this meeting, I'm going to remove, I'm going to have the option of zoom window for you also and add it to the screen.
Zoom start. Add the slide or add the screen.
What?
Add the screen.
Yeah, I'm going to
Screenshot of
add,
the screen.
yeah, I'm going to add the zoom screen to this window. Okay. Now, what do we do after this? If you look at these scattered plots here, you see that the dots that you see on the screen are going upward from left to right, okay? And I can draw a straight line that goes through these dots that you see here. Straight line. The straight line that we can draw here is called regression line, okay? So I'm going to go to the next. Okay. So regression line or line of best fit. Okay. Now, if I can come up with equation of the line that goes through those scatter plot dots, then I can predict. Okay. I can predict some X values and some Y values. Okay. Using those the equation that I come up with. So researchers such as anthropologists are often interested in how two measurements are related to each other. And like, what is the relationship between those ordered pair that I gave you? What is the relationship? The relationship is the equation that we come up with, and it's called regression. Okay. So the regression is called either regression line or line of best fit or least square regression line. In this class, we're only looking at a regression line, okay? But not every regression is a linear regression. We have a quadratic regression, cubic regression, logarithmic regression, exponential regression. But in this class, the only thing that we are looking at is a line that goes through those scatter plot. A regression line and correlation coefficient. Okay, a correlation coefficient is a number and is represented by R, letter R. It tells you how strong the linear regression is between those ordered pair. So correlation coefficient is a number R that measures the strength of the linear association between the numerical values. How strong those ordered pair are with respect to each other. Okay, as we said, we had a set of ordered pair X values, independent variable, Y values were dependent variables. So second number of the our ordered pair is X coordinate. The first number is X coordinate. Second number is Y coordinate. And the equation that we can come up with is Y equal to AX plus B. If you remember from algebra, this is the same equation that we studied, Y equal to MX plus B. M was the slope, B was the Y-intercept. Okay, the R, as I said, correlation coefficient gives you the strength between X and Y. It gives you a bunch of information, okay? Here, for instance, this is example of a scatter plot. You see that all the dots are very, very close to each other, okay? And the dots are going upward from left to right, okay? So here, the R correlation coefficient is going to be a positive number, very, very close to 1, okay? And if I draw a straight line through these dots, the line is going to have a positive slope, okay? This is another example of a scatter plot the dots are again close to each other, but they are going downward from left to right, okay? So if I draw a line through these lines, the line gonna have a negative slope, okay? And your correlation R is going to be a negative number, very, very close to -1. So if you have a negative strong correlation, R is going to be a negative number, very, very close to -1. And the line going to have a negative slope, sorry. This is another scatter plot. And here is, I cannot, the scatter plot is not going downward from left to right or upward from left to right. So it's all over. So here, there is no correlation. Your R is going to be close to 0, okay? You don't have any correlation. We cannot draw a line here. Okay, so we don't, the line, since there is no line, there is no slope, positive or negative. So here we have relatively no correlation. Your R is close to 0. Again, correlation coefficient, more explanation about R. R is a number between -1 and +1. It can be +1. It also can be -1. So it's majority of the time, R is going to be a decimal number between -1 and +1. Once in a while, R is +1 and also -1. So when R is close to +1, we have a strong positive linear association or correlation. When R is close to -1, we have a strong negative linear association or correlation. And when R is close to 0, so you're going to have weak or no linear association. Okay. And as I said, majority of the time, R is a decimal number between -1 and +1. Like for instance, example, R equal to 0.9234. 0.9234 is close to 1. So we're going to have a strong positive linear association. Example of a negative or strong negative correlation, -0.8562. And 0 is just 0, R being 0. If R is equal to 1, you have perfect positive association. And when R is equal to -1, you have perfect negative association. So a negative R means your line is downward from left to right. Positive R means your line is upward from left to right. Okay, how can we get our R using our calculator? Okay, let me show it to you, okay? Do you want me to go through the steps right now or just go right away to the calculator, everyone?
Somebody asked Professor about drawing these on our paper, like when we have to draw them for the homework. I don't know if you want to address that right now or wait until.
Okay, can you wait when let me bring my calculator. Let me stop sharing and bring my calculator up.
And people are saying they want to see the steps for them.
Oh, if they want to see, then I'm gonna in a minute. Let me skip. Okay, let me share the screen. Okay. Okay, do you remember that we enter our X value under list one, Y value under list two? Enter your data using one list for X variable and one list for Y variable. Remember to enter the data in order as per, okay? Okay, then you know how to draw a scatter plot. Then how do we get our equation? So press stat and move the cursor to calculate, calc. Then there are two options. One, option number 4, which is linear regression, AX plus B. LIN, linear REG regression, AX plus B. That's option number 4. There is another option, option number 8, which is linear regression A plus BX. You can pick any of them, but I strongly recommend that you pick option number 4, linear regression AX plus B. After you highlight number 4 in your calculate window, then you press enter. So when you press enter, then the calculator goes to your home screen. It gives you an equation, y equal to ax plus b. Then it gives you the a value and the b value in your home screen.
Professor, I'm not sure you're aware, but you're not sharing the calculator, you're sharing the slides.
Yeah, you said that they want to see the steps, then yeah.
Okay.
You told me to show the steps, then calculator.
Yeah. Then you'll do it after. Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you meant to be sharing it.
No, that's what you said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For example, you get linear regression AX plus B, list 1, list 2, then press enter. Okay. Now, how do we get equation, the R value in the same window as we got equation y equal to AX plus B, or A and B? How do we get our R, correlation coefficient? Okay. Okay. First of all, let's see. I'm going to show you in a minute how to explain how to get the R. But after you get the window that gives you equation y equal to ax plus b with the a and with the b, I usually write the equation on a piece of paper. I write y equal to ax plus b, and I write the value of a and the value of b. Okay. Then I quit my home screen. I click the window y equal, which is one of the first gray one on my calculator. Then on Y1, I enter. If I have any equation, I clear it. If I don't have anything, then I write a value of A, then I put X, then plus B. I'm going to show you in a minute how it works. Enter the equation in the Y equal to screen. Then you're going to click the graph and you will see your line. Okay. Okay, I'm going to. Okay. This is example 2. I'm going to start everything from beginning. It says anthropologists can use the femur or thigh bone to estimate the height of a human being. The table shows the result of a randomly selected sample. Okay, so here you have on the left side of the table, you have the length of thigh bone, 36, 32, 46, 29, and so forth. And on the right side, on the second column, you have the height of human beings. Okay, so let me see, what is the question? Draw the scatter plot and regression line of the data with length tie bone as the independent variable, the length of the tie bone. So the first column here is going to be, let me just put them somewhere so I can see. So the length of the tie bone would be X, and the height would be the Y value. So let me stop the screen, stop sharing. I think I have the in a minute shown. You didn't took a
I
note.
didn't get them all yet, but I'll.
Yeah, I took a screenshot of what I have.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm sharing my calculator. Okay. So first of all, let me quit from here. Stat. Okay. I click the stat key, then edit. Okay. You see that from the previous example, I have some numbers in my list 1 and list 2. I'm going to clear those numbers. Let me show you how. I'm going to clear, I'm clicking the stat key again. Then I'm going to highlight number 4 under edit. Plus, okay, I click enter key, clear list, then is blinking. So I have to enter my list. I said second one gives me list 1, comma, then list 2. Okay, then I press enter. Then it says done. So I clear all the number under list 1 and list 2. So stat, edit. So I'm going to enter the length of thigh bones under list 1. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Hold on a second. So I have 36, 32, 46, 29. Are you guys seeing what I'm entering?
Yes, we can.
35, 38. God, I have so many windows. I can't. Where is the 0? I think 0 is here. Yes, 30. And 27. Okay. So 36, 32, 46, 29, 35, 38, 30, and 27. Now I'm going to go to the second column by pressing the right arrow key, enter those numbers. 160, 143, 187, 142, 161, 164, 140, 131. Okay. We already, our stat plot is already set. So let me remind you one more time. Second Y equal gives me a stat plot window. I chose number 1. I'm going to keep it on scatter plot list 1, list 2, mark. So I'm okay. I'm going to quit from this window. I'm going to press the zoom key. Instead of window key, I'm going to press the zoom key. pick item number 9. Press enter. Here is the scatter plot for the length of thigh bone and the height of human being. That's the scatter plot. Any question from anybody?
I don't see any in the chat, but if you have a question, you can unmute yourself and ask if you'd like.
Okay. Now, how do I get the equation? Do you see that these dots are close to each other and they are going from upward from left to right? So we have a positive correlation. How strong, I'm not sure yet till I figure out what R is. Okay, how do we get R first? Okay, do you see above 0 key? Okay, look at the calculator. Do you see above 0 key? I see catalog. Okay, and it's in blue. So I'm going to say second 0. It takes me to the catalog of my calculator. This is the catalog of your calculator. Second 0 takes you to the catalog. I have to turn on the diagnostic. Diagnostic on. Diagnostic start with letter D. So I'm going to look at the calculator keys and I'm going to find a key that has letter D above it. You know, x to the negative 1, do you see the key x to the negative 1 has a letter D above it? Okay. So I'm going to say second x to the negative 1. Oh, sorry. Sorry, no. Let me go to catalog. Catalog. The D is in green color, correct? So I'm going to say alpha x to the negative 1. Hold on a second. I don't know what happened here. Sorry. Let me go to catalog again.
And then
I think I have to press the x to the negative. I don't think I need
alpha key.
Hold on a second. Let me just press the x to the negative 1 key. Let's see, where do I go? Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I have to turn on the diagnostic. So I went and look at the key that has D above it, and I just click that. It takes me to the first item that starts with the D in catalog. Let me do it one more time. Let me quit from here. I went to the catalog. I want to go to the first letter on first item in the catalog that starts with the D. So I'm going to click find the D. Here is the D. I'm going to click the x to the negative 1 key. It takes me to the first item in catalog that starts with the D. I'm just have to go down till I find diagnostic. I'm just clicking. Here you have diagnostic off, then you have diagnostic on. I want that one. Okay, my arrow is next to the diagnostic on. I'm going to press enter. Then enter again. Then it says done. Now I turned on the diagnostic. Does anyone want me to repeat this process? Okay, one more time.
I'm not seeing anything in the chat, but
you have to turn on the diagnostic. If you don't, you will not see R, because you need to know what R is, correlation coefficient. One more time. Let me quit from this window. Clear. So I'm going to go to catalog. Second 0 gives me to catalog. To get to the letter D, I'm going to click x to the negative 1 because above it is letter D. Then I have to go down till I find diagnostic on. I just press the down arrow key. Here, diagnostic on. The arrow is next to it. I press enter. It takes me to the home screen. I press enter again. It says done. Okay. I'm going to quit from this window. Okay. Now I'm going to click the stat key. Go to calculate. On the top row, go to calculate by pressing the right arrow key. Pick item number 4, linear regression AX plus B. I enter my length of thigh bone under list 1. Okay. I enter my height of the human under list 2. I'm going to ignore the other frequency list as a stored regression equation. Then I'm going to highlight calculate, press enter. So I have a window that writes y equal to ax plus b. It gave me the a value. It gave me the b value. It gave me r square, which I don't need. I need r, correlation coefficient. R is 0.98598. Can you, Shauna, copy
Yeah,
A,
hold on.
B, and R, please?
Yeah, give me a second because I'm answering a chat message right now.
Okay.
A is
2.91453.
2.91453. 453. B is
B is 54.04153.
4153. And R
R
is
0.98598.
9598. Got it.
Okay. What is their question?
No, somebody was asking about the diagnostic if you need to reset it all the time. And you
No.
don't need to go in and do the diagnostic every time. Once you set the diagnostic to show up and display, it will display until your calculator resets or your battery goes dead.
Yes.
So if your screen, if you go to your screen and it doesn't show you R, then you'll have to go back in and do the diagnostic. But once you set it, it will stay.
Yeah, it shouldn't go away.
It will stay set for you.
Yeah,
only if your battery dies or your calculator is reprogrammed. Then
yeah. But if you lose it, you go to your catalog and click X to the -1 key. It takes you to the first function that starts with the D in your catalog. Then go down and find diagnostic on. Press enter twice till you get the letter done. Okay, so you have those numbers. Okay, now
yes.
how do we draw our line? Regression line. I'm going to click the Y equal window key. So I'm clicking the Y equal key. It takes me to Y equal window. I had this equation before. I'm just going to clear it. Okay, I press the clear key and whatever I had from the previous time is gone. Now I'm going to enter, what is my A value, Shana?
2.91453.
91453.
Yes.
Then I have, because it was Y equal to AX plus B. A, that's your A value. X, you get it next to the alpha key. Next to the alpha key, there is a key set X, T, theta, and N. Just press this key, it gives you X value. Okay. And what was your B?
54.04.
Positive, it was
yes,
positive. Plus
54.04153.
04153.
Yes.
Okay. You don't need to enter the R because I will ask you for the R. You have it there written on your piece of paper, then you give it to me. Now, if I press, so A, X plus B, then press the graph key. Okay. It takes you to the same screen that you had your scatter plot, the dots, and it draws the line that goes through majority of these lines. Now, how do you enter this? So I'm going to give, on the exam, I'm going to give you a window like this, a window like this. Then You just look at, and you don't have to be exact. Just put, because whatever you do on your calculator, I have done it. So you give me something similar to this with those green dots. You don't have to be exactly where they are, but close to what you see, then draw the line. Okay. Any question? The green dots are a scatter plot. The red line is a regression line for the length of the thigh bone and the height of the human. Okay. Any question?
I'm not seeing any right now.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing and go to my PowerPoint. Okay, so here is, again, I have shown the steps for this example in here. That is the table that I gave you. Here your X values, Y values under list 2. Scatter. Okay, you don't have to repeat stat plot to go to stat plot all the time. When your stat plot is on, it will be on. Okay. Again, this is the window. Instead of me pressing using the zoom stat, this is the window option. Again, I strongly recommend that you use a zoom option instead of a window option. Here is the scatter plot, and here is the line. You see that I look at my calculator window and I drew as much as possible close to what I saw on my calculator, and the scatter plot dots and the line. Okay. Then I write the equation. You have to write your equation for me. You write y equal to ax plus b. You give me a, you give me b, and you're going to give me r, not r squared, r. There is no need for you to give me the r square. I need r. Okay. Any question?
Let me see. We have one. Let me read it. Do we have to write out the numbers on the graph when we draw it, or just draw it closest to what we get on the calculator?
Close to what you don't have to write the values of x and y on your scatter plot. No, you don't have to. You don't have to say that this dot has x value or y value of such and such. No. Okay. There is another example that I'm going to do for you. Let me take a screenshot of this table. So it says the gas mileage for randomly selected car based upon engine horsepower is given in the following table. So horsepower, 175, 255, and so forth. The miles per gallon, 2213, and so forth. Okay. They want us to make a scatter plot of the data. Okay. Let me do that. Then part B, find correlation coefficient R and linear regression. Interpret the slope of the linear regression in the context of the problem. So let me stop sharing here and start with my calculator. Okay. So am I Okay, so I'm going to go to a stat, edit. Again, you see, let's clear these lists. So stat, clear list, list one, second one, give me list one, comma, second two, give me list two, press enter, it says done. So I'm going to go stat, edit, enter horsepowers under list one, 175. Okay, let's see, how can I keep this? $175. You guys, $255. 140, 165. $115, 120. $190, 180. $110, 125. Okay. Then 2213. $1832. 1832. 2815. 15. 2135. And 30. Okay. Okay. After I enter my, excuse me. Subject machine.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. Okay, I lost my track.
So after you enter your
Okay,
list.
after enter my raw data, I'm gonna go to window, click the zoom key.
To zoom.
And pick number 9, zoom stat. Here is my scatter plot. You see that my scatter plot, the dots are going downward from left to right. So my R is going to be negative because the line that I'm going to draw is going to be from left to right going downward, has a negative slope. Okay. Now your diagnostic is already on. So let's draw our line. To draw our line, we click the stat key. We go to calculate. We pick item number 4, linear regression AX plus B. Please do not pick number 8. Pick number 4. Okay, I enter the horsepower under list 1, mileage, list 2. I'm going to ignore frequency list and store regression. Highlight, calculate, press enter. Here is
negative.
Y equal to AX plus B with A value, B value, and R. Can you copy that?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. B47.50, whoops, 50883. And the R is negative 0.91614.
Okay. Any questions so far?
I have it, Professor, when you're ready.
Okay. Then I'm going to click the Y equal window. clear whatever I had from previous time. Press the clear key. Can you give me the A?
Negative 0.14990.
Then variable X.
Then
Okay.
B is 47.50883.
47 point what?
50883.
883. Okay. Now, if I press the graph key, you see your line going downward from left to right. As you saw, your R was negative, correct?
Yes.
And what was the R, Shauna?
R was negative 0.91614.
It was, R was very close to -1. So R was close to the -1. So you have strong negative correlation, linear correlation or association. If R, for instance, was positive 0.9 something, then the line would have been going upward from left to right. Then you had a strong positive correlation, okay? Or linear association, linear correlation. Okay, let me stop sharing my calculator. Bring my PowerPoint. Here, are you seeing my PowerPoint? Yes, no? Sharing the PowerPoint?
Not now.
Not
No.
yet.
There we go.
Here, the equation is rounded to 2 decimal places, R3, and so forth. So I have explained what is a negative 0.15x is. I'm not going to ask you in the exam what the slope is in this exam. So this is the equation, okay? I can use this equation and either predict the x value, which is horsepower, or predict the y value, which is mileage. And I have given you an example C, okay? I said part C, predict the gas mileage for a 210 horsepower engine, okay? So we know that the horsepower was X for us. So I replace X with 210. Here it is. I replace X with 210. So you have negative 0.15 times 210 plus 47.5. So when you put this in your calculator, you get approximately 16. What does that mean? So with the horsepower of 210, your mileage, miles per gallon, is 16. So you're going to have a 16 miles per gallon if you have a horsepower of 210. Now, if I give you gas mileage, like if the gas mileage is 36, you can predict the horsepower. So we know that the mileage is the Y, so we replace the Y with 36, get 36 equal to negative 0.15x plus 47.5. Then I put all the terms that don't have X on one side. So I subtracted the 47.50 from both sides. Here it is. Then I left with negative 0.15x on the right. When I subtracted these two numbers, I end up with negative 11.50 equal to negative 0.15x. I divide both sides by coefficient of x. So my x is approximately 77. So if the gas mileage is 36, my horsepower would be 77. So with the equation that you have, you can predict x values if y is given to you, or vice versa. If we give you y, you can predict x. Okay. Any question?
Not
I think we
seeing
only have
any
J
in the
here.
chat right now. Yeah, I think everybody else left their
gone?
break at work. They had to
Yeah, they had
excuse
to go.
themselves.
Okay. Jay, any question?
When you switch the sides, do you always have to do that? Like with the Y's and the X's? Like how you switched it?
Okay, hold on a second. Let me share my PowerPoint. What do you mean by that?
When we were doing the one with 36 as the number.
Oh, okay. Like
Oh yeah,
here?
see how how you put the 0.15x to the
Yeah, this is
left
the
side.
equation that you end up from the calculator, okay? So you write your equation. On part C, I gave you, it says predict the gas mileage for a 210 horsepower engine, okay? You know that we put this horsepower, the horsepower was our X because we put them under list 1. So your X is 210. Okay, you have to see what I have given you. Okay, let's go back to the, am I sharing my PowerPoint?
The slides, yes, you are.
Okay. Horsepower was list 1, which is our X. Mileage was list 2, Y. So you always have to know what X and Y, what is the definition of X and Y. In example 3, X is horsepower, Y is mileage. Every time I give you a table and I ask you to draw a scatter plot and give me a line, always the top row is your X. The bottom row is your Y. So always top row is your X, the bottom row is your Y. So here on part C, I said horsepower of 210. So I have given you the X. So X is 210, and you have to give me gas mileage, which is your Y. Clear?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Then in part D, I ask you to predict horsepower, which is your X. I want you to predict X if gas mileage is 36, if Y is 36. So I replace Y with 36, and I'm solving this equation for X. 36 equal to negative 0.15x plus 47.50. So after you have your equation Y equal to AX plus B, you can do prediction. If I give you X, you can predict Y, or if I give you Y, you can predict X, like part C and D.
Okay, I understand now.
Okay, good. Okay, I think I'm done with this. But this, if this is not much, but I have given you 3 examples with all the steps. The only thing that is different from the PowerPoint to the this talk is the window. I never used the window key. I used the zoom key, and I use zoom key instead of window key, and under zoom key I use zoom stat. It's much easier. Zoom stat automatically gives you this window. Like if let me go back to my calculator, stop sharing this PowerPoint and share my calculator. You know, this is my scatter plot and the line. I use zoom stat to get the window for both of them. But if I click the zoom, the window key, here is all the numbers that zoom stat automatically created, okay? So if I ask you what is the window that you have, you drew the line and a scatter plot. If you use zoom stat, you can click the window key and just copy this number And these are automatically created by ZoomStat. You don't have to go to that many decimal places. You can just round your number to 2 or 3 decimal places.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so that's it for today.
Thank you, Professor.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.